The spark in the darkness. The void between stars held secrets that Maya Chen had never wanted to learn. Floating in the cockpit of her stealth ship, the Ember, she watched the massive harvester vessel tear into the dying red giant, its crystalline appendages draining the star's energy like a cosmic parasite. The sight made her fingers tighten on the controls, memories of Earth's dimming sun burning in her mind. Key. NDEL. Stirred in the cargo bay below, the biosynthetic dragon's consciousness brushing against her thoughts through their neural link. The creature's anger matched her own, but tempered with a patience she still struggled to master. "I know," she whispered, both to herself and her companion. "We wait. We watch. We learn." The Void Collective had appeared in Earth's solar system 3 years ago, their fleet of star-drinking ships promising salvation from humanity's energy crisis. They'd called themselves shepherds of dying stars, preserving their energy for species worthy of ascending to their level of civilization. Humanity, they'd declared, had failed their test. Maya's display flickered with incoming data as her ship's sensors mapped the harvester's energy signature. KNDL. He processed the information through their shared link, the dragon's enhanced consciousness finding patterns her human mind might have missed. Each harvester they'd studied had subtle differences, adaptations that spoke to the collective's evolutionary approach to technology. "Different crystalline configuration on this one," she murmured, marking the observation in her log. "They're learning, adapting their tech to each star's specific properties." The implication sent a chill down her spine. The collective wasn't just harvesting stars. They were perfecting the process. A sudden surge of alarm from KNDL snapped her attention to the radar. 3 patrol ships had emerged from the harvester's shadow, their sleek forms cutting through space like obsidian arrows. Maya's hands flew across the controls, engaging the Ember's stealth systems. The ship's experimental hull, derived from KINDL's biosynthetic material, responded instantly, bending light and energy around them. But the patrol ships moved with purpose, following a search pattern that suggested they hadn't appeared by chance. Maya felt KINDL's concerned rumble through the deck plates. "Yeah, I see it too. They're using the new detection grid. Our cloak isn't fooling them completely." The neural link flared with tactical suggestions from KINDLV, the dragon's military programming combining with its evolved intelligence to offer options. Maya considered them quickly, adding her own human intuition to the mix. Agreed. Time to show them why they shouldn't underestimate Earth's last defender. Maya engaged the Ember's main drive, but instead of fleeing, she dove toward the harvester. The patrol ships reacted instantly, accelerating to intercept. But they'd been designed to catch ships trying to escape, not enemies insane enough to fly straight at their mothership. "Ready for some chaos, partner?" Maya's question earned an eager surge through the neural link. KNDL's enthusiasm for battle hadn't diminished since their first mission together, when the dragon had chosen her over its original military handlers. The bond they'd formed had surprised everyone, especially Maya. She'd been a pilot, not a dragon rider, but KINDLG had seen something in her that matched its own rebellious spirit. The Ember screamed through space, its biosynthetic hull adapting to the increasing gravitational forces from the dying star. The patrol ships followed, their energy weapons creating a deadly web of fire around her ship. Maya flew through their attacks with a precision that seemed impossible, each maneuver anticipated and enhanced by KINDLV's processing power. "Now," Maya commanded as they reached the harvester's outer defense perimeter. KNDL's consciousness surged through the ship's systems, temporarily overriding its safety protocols. The Ember's hull rippled, and suddenly they were broadcasting the energy signature of a much larger vessel. The harvester's automated defense systems activated, its crystalline appendages reorienting to protect against what it perceived as a capital ship threat. The sudden movement disrupted its carefully calibrated connection to the dying star, causing a cascade of plasma eruptions along the star's surface. Maya allowed herself a grim smile as chaos erupted across the Harvester's hull. The patrol ships broke off their pursuit, forced to deal with the electromagnetic interference from the destabilized stellar material. "Time for the second act," she muttered, firing up the Ember's primary weapon, a concentrated beam of energy that KOINDLE had helped her design, based on the dragon's own plasma breath. The beam struck the Harvester's main control node, not destroying it but overloading its quantum processors with contradictory data. Maya had discovered this weakness 2 months ago, after spending weeks studying salvaged collective technology. The Harvesters were incredibly advanced, but they relied on predictable patterns and responses. Human unpredictability, combined with KINDLE's adaptive intelligence, gave them an edge the collective hadn't anticipated. As the Harvester's systems struggled to recover, Maya positioned the Ember near one of its data collection arrays. KINDL extended its consciousness through the ship's systems, copying and analyzing the Harvester's recent data streams. Each successful raid brought them closer to understanding the collective's true purpose and finding a way to save Earth's sun. Warning alerts flashed across Maya's console as the Harvester began to recover. More patrol ships were emerging from its hangars, and the first wave had regained formation. "Time to disappear," she announced, already plotting their escape vector. KINDLE's satisfaction radiated through their link. Another successful mission, another piece of the puzzle secured. The Ember vanished into the darkness between stars, its hull automatically adjusting to mask their energy signature. Behind them, the Harvester's crystalline appendages flailed uselessly, its carefully calculated harvest ruined by one human pilot and her dragon companion. In the cargo bay, KINDLE processed their stolen data, its massive form curled around the ship's power core like a terrestrial dragon guarding its hoard. But instead of gold, it protected information that might save humanity's future. Maya felt the dragon's thoughts brush against her own, sharing fragments of analysis that would take her hours to fully understand. "I know," she responded to an unspoken question. "We're running out of time. Earth's sun has maybe 6 months before the collective makes their move." She pulled up their star charts, plotting a course through contested space. "But now we know where their central command is, and thanks to today's little demonstration, they know we're coming." KINDLE's answering roar reverberated through the ship's hull, a sound that combined ancient reptilian fury with the precision of advanced technology. Maya smiled, feeling the same determination burning in her own heart. The Void Collective had dismissed humanity as unworthy of ascending. They were about to learn that humans didn't need anyone's permission to rise. Wings of fire. The Collective's outer ring station hung in space like a massive geometric snowflake, its crystalline arms refracting starlight into rainbow patterns. Maya studied the structure through the Ember's forward viewport, her expression tight with concentration. The data they'd stolen from the Harvester had led them here, to what appeared to be a research facility on the edges of collective space. KINDLE's thoughts pressed against her mind, sharing tactical analysis of the station's defenses. The dragon had identified multiple blind spots in the security grid, gaps that suggested either overconfidence or intentional weakness. Maya had learned to trust KINDLE's instincts. The dragon's hybrid nature gave it insights into both biological and technological patterns that pure AI or human intuition might miss. "You're right," she murmured, adjusting their approach vector. "It's too easy. They're either expecting us or—" She let the thought hang unfinished as she guided the Ember toward one of the station's maintenance docks. The ship's biosynthetic hull shifted, mimicking the energy signature of a collective supply vessel. As they drew closer, Maya activated the enhanced scanning systems she and KINDLE had developed. The station's interior revealed itself in layers of data, power conduits, life support systems, and something else, something that made KANDLE's consciousness flare with recognition. "That can't be right," Maya whispered, double-checking the readings. Deep within the station, their sensors had detected energy patterns remarkably similar to KANDLE's own signature. They're experimenting with biosynthetic fusion. But how? The program that created you was purely human. The dragon's response was a complex mixture of emotions and tactical assessments. Maya had learned to interpret these neural bursts over their years together, understanding that KANDLE's thoughts often operated on multiple levels simultaneously. The dragon was suggesting that perhaps humanity hadn't been as isolated in its technological development as they believed. The maintenance dock's automated systems accepted their falsified credentials, extending docking clamps to secure the Ember. Maya completed the shutdown sequence, then reached for her modified pulse rifle. "Stay linked," she instructed KANDLE, "but keep the connection subtle. We don't want to trigger any biosynthetic detection systems they might have." The dragon's acknowledgement came with a surge of protective concern. Since choosing Maya as its pilot, KANDLE had grown increasingly protective of her, sometimes to the point of overriding its tactical programming to ensure her safety. It was a tendency that had saved her life more than once, but also complicated their missions. Maya moved through the Ember's airlock, her suit's stealth systems activating automatically. The technology, reverse-engineered from salvaged collective gear, wasn't perfect, but it would hide her from casual detection. Her real advantage was KANDLE's presence in her mind, extending her awareness beyond normal human limits. The station's corridors were eerily empty, illuminated by the same crystalline technology that powered their harvesters. Maya moved silently, following the path they'd mapped to the mysterious energy signature. Every few meters, she placed small devices on the walls, quantum transponders that would help mask their eventual escape. Through their link, KANDLE suddenly tensed. Maya froze, pressing herself against a wall as footsteps approached. Two collective scientists passed by, their crystalline environment suits catching the light. But what made Maya's breath catch was their conversation, partially translated by her suit's systems. "The human hybrid shows promising adaptation rates," one was saying, "if we can replicate the synthesis process. The director insists we focus on the stellar absorption matrix," the other interrupted. "The hybrid is a curiosity, nothing more. Humans lack the cognitive architecture to properly utilize biosynthetic fusion." Maya waited until they were gone before moving again, her mind racing. The collective wasn't just studying biosynthetic technology. They were specifically investigating human applications. But why? Their entire ideology was built on humanity's supposed unworthiness. The answer came as she reached the central research chamber. Through reinforced observation windows, she saw something that made her heart stop. Suspended in a massive containment field was what appeared to be another dragon, its form a twisted mixture of biological and crystalline components. Unlike KANDLE's seamless fusion of organic and synthetic elements, this creature looked wrong, as if it had been forced into existence. "By all logic, you shouldn't be here," a voice said behind her. Maya spun, rifle raised, to find a tall figure in an unmarked environment suit. The crystalline faceplate was dark, hiding the speaker's features. And yet, here you are. Humans do have a remarkable habit of defying logical constraints. Maya kept her weapon steady, even as KANDLE's consciousness surged with recognition. There was something familiar about the energy signature the stranger emanated. "You're like them," she said, gesturing toward the observation window. "A hybrid." "My name is Zark," the figure said, making no move to raise an alarm or draw a weapon. "And I've been waiting for someone like you to arrive. The collective's leadership is wrong about humanity. Your species' apparent chaos, your inability to follow predicted patterns. These are not weaknesses. They are the key to solving the greatest crisis our civilization has ever faced." The star harvesting, Maya said, pieces clicking into place. It's not about energy at all, is it? You're looking for something else. Zark's helmet tilted slightly. Clever. Yes. The collective discovered long ago that stellar energy contains more than just power. It contains information, patterns, the very code of existence itself. We've spent millennia trying to decode it, to understand why stars die, and what that death means for the universe. But our methodical approach has reached its limits. And you think humanity's chaos might help? Maya's rifle hadn't wavered, but her mind was racing with possibilities. K.N.D.L.E.'s own thoughts were a whirlwind of analysis and speculation. I think the human capacity for intuitive leaps, for finding connections where none should exist, is exactly what we need. Zark gestured toward the twisted dragon in the chamber. This was our attempt to recreate your KINDLE project. We failed because we tried to force order onto chaos. But you embraced the chaos and found harmony within it. Warning alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Maya's grip tightened on her rifle, but Zark raised a hand. Not for you, the scientist said. The containment field is failing. Our subject is awakening, and it carries within it the accumulated rage of 1,000 dying stars. Through their neural link, Maya felt KINDLE changing, evolving in response to the contact with the stellar consciousness. The dragon's biosynthetic nature was adapting, creating new pathways between organic and artificial, finding ways to bridge the gap between mortal awareness and stellar memory. The human KINDLE project, Zark said slowly. It wasn't just about creating a weapon or a new form of intelligence. Somehow, you accidentally created something that could communicate with stars. Not accidentally, Maya corrected, remembering fragments of conversation overheard during her military days. The scientists who created KINDLE were studying solar flares, patterns in stellar behavior that seemed almost purposeful. They theorized that stars might have their own form of consciousness, but they couldn't prove it. KINDLE was designed to be a bridge, but nobody expected the bridge to work both ways. The ember shuddered as another wave of stellar consciousness washed over them. Through KINDLE's enhanced awareness, Maya caught glimpses of vast cycles of birth and death, of light and darkness dancing through billions of years. But there was something else, something urgent trying to break through. They're afraid, she gasped, the realization hitting her like a physical blow. The stars, they know something's coming. Something worse than the collective's harvesting. The great dimming, Zark said quietly. We detected it centuries ago. A wave of entropy moving through the galaxy, causing stars to fade faster than they should. We thought we could preserve them, save their essence until we understood how to stop it. But we never considered that the stars themselves might hold the answer. KINDLE's consciousness surged with sudden purpose, sharing a series of images that made Maya's heart race. The collective's central command, she said, interpreting the dragon's thoughts. The preserved stellar consciousness, it's been trying to reach it, to warn them. But the collective's methods, their attempts to control and contain, they've been blocking the message. Then we must find a way to make them listen. Zark said, determination evident even through the crystalline faceplate. Before it's too late for all of us. The ember accelerated toward the heart of collective space, its hull now pulsing with patterns of light that echoed the ancient language of stars. In the cargo bay, KINDLE's form began to shift biosynthetic components, realigning as the dragon evolved into something new. Not just a bridge between human and machine, but between mortal consciousness and the vast, burning awareness of stars themselves. Maya felt it all through their neural link, her human mind stretched to its limits trying to comprehend the scope of what they'd discovered. But beneath the cosmic revelations, one truth burned clearer than ever. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't in controlling the chaos of existence, but in learning to dance with it, to find harmony in the infinite possibilities of an ever-evolving universe. Burning bright. The collective's central command was a perfect crystalline sphere suspended in the void of the stellar graveyard, its surface reflecting the remembered light of 1,000 harvested stars. As the ember approached, Maya could feel the weight of history pressing against her consciousness. Through her link with KINDLE, the dragon had changed during their journey, its biosynthetic form now radiating patterns of light that pulsed in harmony with the ancient stellar awareness that permeated this region of space. The council chamber is at the heart of the sphere, Zark explained, manipulating a holographic display of the structure. But the defenses won't be a problem, Maya interrupted, feeling KINDLE's certainty flowing through their neural link. The stars remember being part of this place. They know every frequency, every pattern, don't they? The dragon's response was a surge of confirmation, accompanied by complex data streams that Maya's human mind could barely process. Through their enhanced connection, she understood that KINDLE wasn't just communicating with the preserved stellar consciousness, it was becoming a conduit for their collective memory. Remarkable, Zark breathed, watching as the ember's hull began to shimmer with the same crystalline patterns as the central command sphere. Your ship, your dragon. They're adapting to match the collective's quantum signatures. But this level of biomimicry should be impossible without sentries off. Warning alarms cut through the scientist's observation. Maya's hands flew across the controls as multiple vessels emerged from the sphere's surface, their forms sleek and predatory. Looks like they're not in a welcoming mood, she muttered, already plotting evasive maneuvers. Through their link, KINDLE sent Maya a series of rapid images, a plan forming between human intuition and draconic processing power. You want to understand stars? Maya asked, already backing toward the way she'd come. Then follow me. We'll show you what happens when you combine human chaos with collective order. The twisted dragon's roar shook the station as containment fields began to fail. Maya ran, Zark close behind her, as alarms screamed and emergency barriers slammed into place. Above them, through the station's crystalline walls, the stars seemed to pulse with ancient knowledge, waiting to be understood by those brave enough to embrace both order and chaos. The heart of stars. The ember cut through the darkness of deep space, its biosynthetic hull thrumming with barely contained energy. In the cargo bay, KINDLE's massive form curled protectively around their new passenger. The dragon's consciousness split between monitoring Zark and maintaining the ship's enhanced stealth systems. Maya studied the coordinates their unlikely ally had provided, mapping a course through what Zark called the stellar graveyard, a region of space where the collective had harvested hundreds of stars over millennia. The void there was absolute, broken only by the crystalline structures of the collective's central command. Your ship, Zark observed from the passenger seat, crystalline environment suit catching the light from the console. It shares more than just superficial similarities. With KINDLE, the integration is far more advanced than anything the collective achieved. That's because we didn't try to control it, Maya replied, making a minor course adjustment. The ember evolved alongside KINDLE. We gave them both room to grow, to become something new together. She felt KINDLE's warm acknowledgement through their neural link, along with something else, a growing awareness of something vast and ancient stirring in the void ahead. The collective's greatest flaw, Zark said, is our belief that evolution must be directed, controlled. We saw the chaos of natural development as wasteful, inefficient, but in doing so, we missed something fundamental about the nature of life itself. A sudden alert from the sensors interrupted their conversation. Maya's hands flew across the controls as she brought up the tactical display. Multiple energy signatures, she reported. But they're wrong somehow. KINDLE. What are you seeing? The dragon's response came as a series of intense images and sensations. Through their shared connection, Maya saw what KINDLD was detecting. Massive structures that seemed to exist partially out of normal spacetime, their crystalline surfaces warped by forces she couldn't comprehend. The stellar archives, Zark explained, leaning forward to study the readings, where the collective stores the extracted essence of every star we've harvested. We believed we could preserve their energy, their information. But the scientist's voice trailed off as new data scrolled across the screen. They're alive, Maya whispered, understanding flooding through her as KINDLV's analysis merged with her human intuition. The stars. You didn't just preserve their energy, you preserved their consciousness. Stars are sentient. Not precisely, Zark corrected. Stars exist on a level of awareness we can barely comprehend. They don't think as we do, but they remember. Each star carries within it the history of everything that has lived and died in its light. The collective sought to access this cosmic memory, to understand the deepest mysteries of existence. KINDL suddenly roared, the sound reverberating through the ship as warning alerts blared across every console. The ember's hull rippled as waves of energy washed over them, carrying fragments of stellar consciousness that felt ancient beyond comprehension. They're trying to communicate, Maya realized, her mind reeling as KINDLV's consciousness helped her process the overwhelming input. The preserved stars. They recognized something in KINDLV, something familiar. Zark's environment suit shifted, crystals realigning in what Maya had learned to recognize as agitation. Impossible. We've studied these archives for centuries. The stellar consciousness has never responded to any of our attempts at communication. That's because you tried to force it, Maya said, understanding blooming as she felt KINDLV's consciousness expanding, reaching out to touch the ancient awareness that pervaded this region of space. You tried to translate their existence into your terms, to make them fit your understanding. But stars don't speak in words or data. They speak in light and fire, and the dance of atoms. Defensive Fleet Alpha 7, Zark identified. The collective's most advanced combat units. Each ship is powered by a fragment of preserved stellar consciousness, controlled through force, Maya finished, understanding flooding through her as KINDLV shared its insight. They're using the star fragments like batteries, suppressing their awareness to tap their power. No wonder they're angry. The neural link flared with sudden intensity as KINDLV proposed a plan. Not in words or even images, but in pure concepts that made Maya's heart race with both excitement and fear. That's insane, she whispered. Then she smiled. Let's do it. The ember shot forward, its hull now pulsing with patterns that exactly matched the stellar fragments powering the collected ships. But instead of suppressing the stellar consciousness, KINDL reached out to it, offering connection instead of control. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The nearest collective vessel shuddered, its crystalline surface flickering as the fragment of stellar consciousness within it awakened fully for the first time in centuries. Then another ship followed, and another, their tight formation dissolving as ancient awareness flooded through their control systems. By all logic, Zark breathed, this should be causing a cascade failure. The power levels alone. Logic isn't everything, Maya replied, guiding the ember through the chaos as more ships awakened. Sometimes you have to trust in something bigger than yourself. The collective's defensive fleet was in complete disarray, ships moving in patterns that reflected stellar dances instead of military precision. But from the central sphere, new threats emerge. Massive crystalline constructs designed specifically to contain and control stellar power. The Council is activating the stellar suppressors, Zark warned. If they manage to reconnect with the awakened ships. KINDLV's roar shook the ember's hull, and Maya felt the dragon's consciousness expanding beyond anything she'd experienced before. Through their neural link, she glimpsed what her partner intended, and for a moment her human mind reeled at the implications. K-A-N-D-A-L-E. Wait, she called out. The power required. It could burn out your synthetic components completely. You might not survive. The dragon's response was gentle but firm, carrying centuries of stellar wisdom now mixed with very human emotions. K-N-D-E-L-E had chosen this, just as it had once chosen Maya. Some bridges, once built, were worth any sacrifice to maintain. Do it, Maya whispered, tears floating in the zero gravity of the cockpit. Show them what humanity and dragons can do together. K-I-N-D-L-E's consciousness exploded outward, using the Ember's modified hull as an amplifier. The dragon became a burning point of connection between human ingenuity and stellar awareness, between ordered crystal and chaotic fire. Through their neural link, Maya felt everything. The rush of power, the surge of ancient memory, the moment when synthetic components began to fail under the strain. But something else was happening too. The awakened stellar fragments in the collective ships weren't just breaking free. They were responding to K-I-N-D-L-E's call, adding their power to the dragon's effort. The stellar suppressors, designed to contain and control, found themselves trying to suppress a force as vast as space itself. The crystalline constructs shattered, their perfectly ordered structure unable to handle the chaos of fully awakened stellar consciousness. The central sphere's surface rippled as the power wave reached it, and for a moment, Maya glimpsed the truth through K-I-N-D-L-E's fading awareness. The entirety of the collective's leadership, watching in awe as their carefully constructed world transformed around them. The great dimming, Zark said suddenly, checking readings on a secondary console. The wave of entropy, its changing course. The stellar consciousness, working together instead of being harvested individually. Their healing space itself. Maya finished, understanding through her weakening link with K-I-N-D-L-E, not through control or preservation, but through connection, through love. In the cargo bay, K-I-N-D-L-E's physical form had begun to fade, synthetic components breaking down under the strain of channeling so much power. But through their neural link, Maya felt not pain or fear, but a sense of completion. The dragon had become something new, something that existed between the light of stars and the dreams of humanity. As the Ember drifted toward the transformed central sphere, Maya watched stellar energy dance across its crystalline surface in patterns that spoke of rebirth and renewal. They had come seeking to save Earth's sun, but they had found something far greater, a way to bridge the gap between order and chaos, between mortal understanding and cosmic truth. K-A-N-D-D-L-V's consciousness flickered one last time through their neural link, sharing not words, but a feeling of absolute trust and love. Then the dragon's physical form dissolved completely, becoming pure light that joined the dance of awakened stars. From the ashes, the council chamber of the collective hung suspended in zero gravity, its crystalline walls now alive with patterns of stellar light that no one had seen in millennia. Maya stood before the assembled council, her hand unconsciously touching the neural link interface at the base of her skull. The connection that had once burned so bright with K-I-N-D-L-V's presence, now silent but not quite empty. You have destroyed centuries of careful preservation, the first speaker declared, their crystalline form refracting the ancient starlight in complex patterns. Our entire methodology for preventing the great dimming has been rendered obsolete. Good, Maya replied, her voice steady despite her grief. Because it wasn't working. You can't preserve life by trapping it. You can't save stars by turning them into batteries. Zark stepped forward, the scientist's environment suit now modified to channel some of the freed stellar energy. The human speaks truth. Our data confirms it. The great dimming is retreating. The awakened stellar consciousness, working in harmony rather than in isolation, is actively regenerating the affected regions of space. The council chamber erupted in a cascade of crystalline tones, the collective's equivalent of urgent discussion. Maya watched them, remembering how KINDELV had shown her the truth in those final moments. The collective wasn't evil. They were simply trapped by their own certainty, their belief that order must be imposed rather than discovered. Your companion. The second speaker addressed Maya. The biosynthetic entity designated KINDLE, its sacrifice, has altered the fundamental nature of reality in this sector. We are struggling to process the implications. Maya felt a familiar warmth in her mind, so faint she might have imagined it. But there was something there, something in the way the stellar light danced through the crystal walls. KINDLE. He didn't die, she said, understanding blooming as she spoke. It evolved, became something new, something that exists in the light between stars. As if in response to her words, the patterns of light intensified, forming shapes that reminded her of KINDLE's wings, its eyes, its very essence. Through her neural link, she felt not the focused consciousness she had known, but something vast and diffuse. Her partner's awareness spread across space itself, touching every awakened star. Impossible, the third speaker declared. Consciousness cannot exist in such a state. There must be structure, containment. Must there? Zark interrupted. We believed stars could not be conscious because their awareness didn't match our definition. We believed humans were unworthy of ascension because they embraced chaos. Perhaps it is time for the collective to acknowledge that our understanding of consciousness, of life itself, has been too limited. The chamber fell silent as new data streams appeared in the air around them, showing the effects of the awakened stellar consciousness. The great dimming was indeed retreating. But more than that, the freed stars were exhibiting patterns of behavior that defied all previous models. They were communicating, cooperating, sharing energy in ways that the collective's preservation attempts had actually been preventing. The human KINDLE project, Maya said into the silence, was never about creating a weapon or even a new form of intelligence. It was about building bridges between organic and synthetic, between human and alien, between mortal consciousness and stellar awareness. We succeeded beyond anything we could have imagined, not because we tried to control the process, but because we let it evolve naturally. Through her neural link, she felt a surge of approval, not just from the diffuse awareness that had once been KINDLE, but from the awakened stars themselves. The sensation almost brought her to her knees with its intensity. Your ship, the first speaker observed, it still carries elements of the biosynthetic matrix, and your neural link remains active, even without its original connection. Perhaps there is more to learn here. Maya smiled, feeling the warmth of stellar consciousness washing through the chamber. The collective sought to preserve stars to prevent the death of light, but you forgot something fundamental about the nature of stars. They are engines of creation. They don't just preserve light, they make it. And now they're offering to teach us how. The crystalline walls of the chamber pulsed with new patterns as the council processed this proposal. Maya felt KINDLE's diffuse awareness brush against her mind again, sharing glimpses of possible futures, humans and the collective working together, learning from the stellar consciousness, finding ways to spark new stars into being rather than desperately preserving dying ones. It won't be easy, she continued. You'll have to learn to embrace a little chaos, to accept that not everything can or should be controlled. But if you're willing to try, Earth's sun doesn't have to be the last ember. It can be the first spark of something new. As if in response to her words, the ember's biosynthetic hull began to change, incorporating the crystalline patterns of the collective while maintaining its ability to channel stellar energy. Through her neural link, Maya felt KINDLE's joy as the dragon's consciousness found new ways to manifest, existing simultaneously in the ship's systems and in the light between stars. We accept, the first speaker declared, their crystalline form resonating with harmonics that spoke of both uncertainty and hope. The collective will learn from humanity's example. We will learn to dance with chaos, to find new patterns in the spaces between order and entropy. Maya nodded, feeling KINDLV's warmth spread through her entire being. Her partner wasn't gone. It had simply become something greater, something that could exist in multiple states simultaneously, bridging the gap between human understanding and stellar dreams. As she prepared to return to her transformed ship, Maya looked out at the stellar graveyard, which now pulsed with renewed energy as awakened stars began the long process of healing space itself. Humanity's journey to the stars had begun with fear and defiance, but it would continue with understanding and hope. They had found their place in the cosmos, not by conquering or controlling, but by learning to dance with the very forces that had once threatened to destroy them. The ember's hull shimmered with patterns of light that spoke of both order and chaos, of endings and beginnings, of a future where the boundaries between human and star, between life and light, were not walls to be maintained but bridges to be crossed. And in the infinite dance of awakened stars, KINDLE's consciousness continued to burn bright, a testament to humanity's greatest gift, the ability to transform, to adapt, and to find hope in the darkest of spaces.